Orange County over the weekend got a point on the road in Las Vegas against a much improved Vegas team from years past. And by the way, it's fun to hear and see an atmosphere in that stadium. I think it's the first time I've ever watched a match on the stream and felt some sort of atmosphere. Props to the local team there. I'm sure the electric whatever people are excited that soccer is really back in Las Vegas. But we're here to talk about Orange County, a point on the road, hunting for the playoffs. Let's get into this. Welcome to the Show of Champions. This is the Orange and Black Soccer Cast. How's it going, Orange County? Welcome to another episode of the Orange and Black Soccer Cast, the first and only show dedicated to Orange County Soccer Club, its fans and supporters. I'm your host, Ray Zamora. I'm here to take you through this journey as we discuss all things Orange County Soccer Club. Helping me out for this episode, we've got the gentleman in Vegas who was at the match this weekend. So we're going to get some great firsthand accounts of this match from Orange County. That's Brad. Brad, how are we feeling today?
I'm doing well. I can't believe you could not say Electric Light Company, like electric something.
Electric people.
Electric
yeah,
people?
Electric people.
Okay, so they're like one off the village people.
Yeah, hey, I mean, it makes sense, right? Don't they have some characters in that group? And I see you're sporting your Canes hat. I think you're excited about the NHL season, right?
Yeah, Stick Puck is coming back this week.
Stick Puck. And then also helping us on this episode, the fan of Stick Ball, and that is Mr. Larry. Larry, congratulations on your umping gig at Angel Stadium.
Thank you.
How are you feeling after a weekend of soccer from Orange County?
You know what? I'm feeling great. This was an absolutely fantastic weekend. I thought the team had some flaws on Saturday night, but we came out of there with a point. And if you recall on the show last week, I said, if we can get out of there with a point, I would be happy with it. I would think that was a good result. And hey, you know what? We got it. And congratulations to Las Vegas on earning their first ever playoff appearance. They needed 3 different things to happen on Saturday, and all 3 things happened, and they're going to the playoffs. And right now they sit at the number 2 seed. So good for them. Congratulations.
Yeah, I'm happy for Vegas. I know it was a tough 2 or 3 years for the fans out there in Vegas with the team sort of playing in this middle ground of trying to be a pro team or trying to be a carnival sideshow. With Joey Bats taking over the team, they now have some legitimacy, and it looks like a legit soccer team, a legit soccer program there. And even just, the atmosphere you're seeing with, the new stands that they put out there, the electronic sideboards, ad boards. It looks like it's a really nice thing. I'm going to ask you, Brad, before we even get to the Orange County talk, I know you're out there in Vegas. Is there electricity? And there's no pun intended there, but is there electricity behind this Lights team now under Joey Bats's leadership?
They're not quite to where they were before COVID, I would say. I think COVID, they were averaging 6,000 or 7,000 people a game. Atmosphere was a lot better. The rivalry with Reno definitely helped. However, this is a huge sign of life compared to where they were 2 years ago at the end of Lashbrook's tenure. Hopefully with this offseason and a full offseason for the ownership, they can really go out and engage the community and really win back some of those people. A guaranteed playoff spot definitely helps start that momentum.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, it's obvious that you can't get back to what it was pre-COVID probably quickly because of the distrust over the last 2 or 3 years from the fans and the team. But it's good to see that it's growing. And I know we're an Orange County Soccer Club show, but we support this league and the lower level soccer. And we've seen too many teams that have decided to fold because of lack of support, either from the fans in the area, ownership, or just having a battle with bigger pocketed billionaires trying to take over soccer. So we're all in for any team that can be revitalized like a Las Vegas. And again, you could hear the electricity. You could see the electricity from some of the shots. And I know from our communications with, the supporters in Vegas, there was a little bit of a hiatus of them even supporting the team because of the craziness going on. So congrats, Vegas, on your playoff berth. Congrats on what looks to be a new revitalized soccer, being played in Vegas and the fans showing up, and hopefully that'll continue to grow there. Just like Orange County, we were once not pulling in a lot, but we've grown. We have now fans that like to come. We have fans that watch our show, and we've seen the numbers grow because of the success of Orange County. Let's talk about this match with Orange County. Obviously, everyone wants 3 points every match you potentially can get points, but as a smart former host on this show used to say, a point on the road is still really, really good. I mean, you go for 3 at home, 1 on the road, and you're usually pretty golden in this league. It's unfortunate that Orange County was the team to score first and we conceded the equalizer. That's always sort of a bummer when you can't hold on to a lead like that. But again, on the road, it's a good result for a team that's fighting for playoffs. And now it's, I believe, 4, maybe 5 matches in a row for the team and Danny Stone that they haven't lost, which is always a good sign too. Let me talk to you really quick, Larry, on this match. What were your overall thoughts on Orange County's performance in Vegas?
It was not the best performance of the season. It was not the worst performance of the season, but it was a good enough performance to get a result, to get a point out of there. There were some huge highlights. I mean, that pass that we just saw, I think it was Hegardt who made that pass to Cameron. And I thought for sure we were going to go up 1-0 on that one. I think Cameron could have finished up a little bit better on that. But overall, we gave the ball away a lot. That's kind of almost a typical thing of Orange County. We didn't have a lot of possession, but sometimes you don't need a lot of possession to, in fact, win a game or get a point. I mean, I think the possession was 65-35, something along those lines. So when you only got the ball a third of a time, it's going to make it hard to be successful. But we pulled it out on this one, so I think the team can be very proud of themselves and how they played in this game.
Brad, let me go to you. You were, of course, there, I believe. So I'm saying, of course, and I believe that doesn't make sense, but I believe you were at this match, correct?
Yes, I was.
Tell me your thoughts, what you saw live from Orange County, maybe that you weren't seeing from them earlier in the season in this match. And did you sense, the team disappointed with the result, or were they, satisfied with a point on the road? What did you get out of that as well?
So I will go ahead and say the team definitely is satisfied with that result. Just talking with them after the game and seeing, the smiles on them. They knew this game was going to be hard. This game was important to at least get a point out of. Kudos to Vegas for really controlling the ball against us. They definitely made us worry a couple more times after their score. Shuttler had a couple really great saves later on in the game. But, big shout out on our end to our midfield, who really stepped up and limited what Vegas does in that midfield with Jabang and Ngando. Those 2 guys are wicked talented. There are some players in the league who think Ngando belongs in higher up leagues, higher than USL, probably higher than MLS. However, he's here for right now, and he's a very good player. Beyond that, Corey Bennett scored. I called that at the end of last episode. It was just kind of an inevitable. The guy is tall. The guy knows how to get open. A couple of negatives that I do want to point out this game. It was really upsetting seeing, us not be able to create in that final third again. Our one shot on goal is the only one that went in, and that was the Hegardt goal in the 16th minute. Beyond that, we had, I think, a total of 9 shots in general, and really none of them found the frame beyond that. I mean, 1 shot on target. And also, we're still looking and getting these silly, silly yellow cards. I know that I'm not one to complain about the referee, but I did a lot of complaining about this referee at this game. There was one time right before half where the referee calls a play dead when we had advantage and brings the ball back 15 yards. Interesting refereeing, a lot of really ticky-tacky yellow cards that we definitely dug a hole for ourselves by earning some of those by complaining. But all in all, the team and I'm sure all of us are happy with this draw.
I will say I'm content with a draw on the road against what is the second place team in the West. Obviously, when you're playing against a tough team like that, a team that has proven, and it's not like this is their second place 5 games into the season. This is now deep into the season. They're in second place. That means they're a quality team. They're a team that on paper is expecting to beat a team like Orange County when you're looking at the records. They're at home and all that. So to get a point on the road in that situation, that is a victory for Orange County. If you think otherwise, you're delusional. Obviously, as a fan and as a supporter of Orange County, we want all 3 points every chance we can get, but that's not always going to happen. Let me ask you this, Larry. There was maybe a questionable call in the box where a Vegas player goes down and there's a no call, but we're all experienced with USL refs to know that probably 90% of the time they're going to give that call because they don't always see it perfectly. Props to the ref for not making the call there, because upon replay, you can show it was pretty much a dive. If there was any contact, it was very minimal. Larry, your thoughts on when you saw that live or on the stream, were you like already like anticipating a whistle to be blown and like upset and already throwing your remote at the TV because of penalties you called?
No, I was cringing for a moment, but it was immediate that there was a no call. And then when seeing the replay, it was obvious that was a dive. That was a Greg Louganis-esque dive. So it was a great no call by the referee. There was again slight moment of panic, just a little, oh God, not again, and okay, good, no call. So yeah, I wasn't overly worried about it.
Brad, I'll ask you really quick on this because you were there. What was the reaction from the Vegas fans? Was there anyone that was reasonable on their end, or were they all pretty frustrated with that no call?
I didn't really see crazy amounts of hatred from it. I will add on to it. Live, we were on the far side of the pitch from where the call would have happened, so we didn't really catch it. However, with that said, we all, looked on our phones at the replay, and I probably would have given it in terms of like live action. I probably would have fallen for that bait. That was a very good dive. Very, very good, expected. I won't call it a dive. I'll call it more he was expecting to get tackled and kind of just force the issue. But also, I know there's a comment in here about the crossbar. When Vegas hits the crossbar in like the 50-somethingth minute, that was another moment where we were sitting in front of it and we saw it hit the crossbar and hit off of Shuttler, and we were expecting it to go in just based on, that always goes in. To see it go wide is a huge, huge sigh of relief there.
It was the spin on the ball, and that benefited Orange County probably. I'm just making up things there. Let me ask you this really quick. And talking about the dive again, really quick, Larry. If it was not a PK, then is that a card for simulation from the player for diving? I mean, you have to go one way or the other on that, right? If it wasn't like he just sort of tripped over his feet. He dove. He fell with the purpose of trying to convince the ref to make a call there. So if the ref is saying there's no penalty, there's no contact, it has to be a card for simulation.
By way of rule book, yes, I imagine that is. Of course, now we all know I am not the tactician here. I'm also not the rule book guy. I know a different sports rule book really well. But yeah, I mean, he could have given a card for simulation for taking the dive. He didn't. Sometimes as a referee, sometimes as a sports official, you got to keep the whistle in the back pocket. And I actually thought the referee did a pretty decent job on that particular instance of not doing anything. Could he have given a red card or a yellow card? Sure, of course he could.
Brad,
he didn't, and that's fine.
Come to the side of reality here, right? If you're not going to give the penalty there has to be a yellow card shown to the Vegas player.
No, not necessarily. Judgment calls. I think the ref swallowed his whistle a lot of times. However, like, there are a couple calls that I already said earlier that I very much disagreed with, and I think the ref overly penalized us early on, kind of taking a little bit of the sting out of us. Although Partita complaining with the ref 100% is always yellow.
I think a yellow card should have been given there. I was even this weekend with my kids' games asking for yellow cards on 12-year-olds. So maybe I was just card happy this weekend, and I was bummed that there was no card given in either of those matches for the instances that we had. So I think we're all in unison here of saying this was a good performance from Orange County on the road in Vegas to pick up a point. There's currently now sitting, I believe, 7th in the West. With just a few games remaining here, but it's very, very close. They're even on points with Phoenix, and they're only 2 points ahead of Tulsa, San Antonio, and only 3 points ahead of Monterey Bay. It is a tight race here in the Western Conference.
2 points ahead of Monterey Bay.
2 points?
Yes.
I'm seeing 3 from what I'm looking. Maybe I'm looking at something different from
3. Sorry, 2 points over Tulsa and San Antonio. My bad.
Yes. Yep. So look at that. 2 spots in the West, 5 teams that right now legitimately have a chance at that based on the way things go. It's not going to be an easy finish to the season. Obviously, the cool thing is Orange County is in control of their destiny. If they were to do what they need to do and win out, they are in there, right? That's their spot. But you have to worry about, what else is going to happen. So, I look at it as, and this is what I tell my kids all the time, is if you're in a spot where you're in control, just take care of business. Don't worry about the other teams that are around you in the standings. Worry about what you could do, get the victory. And you're assured that you're going to get that spot. Now, 7th place, I think Brad was mentioning this in socials and whatnot. Hey, the way things look right now with standing, 7th place means a return trip to Vegas. And I'm hoping that there would be more traveling fans making that trip. Obviously, it's a little bit more difficult, maybe sometimes midseason to commit to it, but in playoffs, I think people are more motivated. To have a chance to get there, they need to take care of business. And the next piece of business is a midweek match. So only a couple days between a Vegas match and a midweek match on Wednesday to get prepared against Colorado Springs, another tough opponent. They're currently sitting 4th in the West. They come out to Orange County into Irvine Championship Soccer Stadium this Wednesday, 2 days from this show date, to take on Orange County. And I would assume, as happy as we were with 1 point against Vegas, I believe we're all looking at this. You need to get 3 points at home, even though it's against a tough opponent like Colorado Springs. Larry, your thoughts? Is 3 points the only answer for this one, or do you have any scenario where getting a 1 point result is still satisfying for you?
With how tight this is right now, Colorado is a scary team coming in. They're a very good team. They have that Ronaldo Damos player who we're all very familiar with, who can put a ball into the back of the net at any given time on just the one quick snap of his right foot. So that's something that team has to be very cognizant of. It is so tight down on the bottom that can we get away with 1 point here? Yes. What the team cannot do, in my opinion, is we cannot have a letdown in El Paso. And I know I'm looking forward, I'm looking 9 days into the future. I'm looking at El Paso game being exponentially more important than this Colorado game. We need 1 out of Colorado. We need to have the 3 out of El Paso. 3-3 would be even better, of course. But I don't think that this is a must win, but it is a must result game. We got to get a point here.
I love that you call out, hey, Ronaldo Damas is on this team. Well, guess what? Ronaldo Damas will not be playing in this match.
Oh,
He's
darn it.
One of 4 players.
Shucks.
He's one of 4 players on international duty right now, which is a benefit for Orange County because obviously if you're on international duty, it means you're a pretty darn good player. So to be without 4 quality players, another name that Orange County fans might recognize, Duke Lacroix, will be gone also. But to miss 4 players that are quality players for a match, benefit for Orange County. That's awesome to see. I don't think anyone from Orange County has been called up for international duty. So that's definitely a plus side for Orange County. What's up?
Do you count the youth teams? Because we've had multiple youth call-ups this year.
But right now, I'm talking about right now. This match. Yeah. It's a benefit for Orange County heading into this match that you're going to be missing some key players. Colorado, Brad, Now that we've clarified, I know Larry didn't know this quite when he was
I did
speaking.
not.
What are your thoughts with this? Is this a benefit for Orange County? And now I ask you that same question: is 3 points a must for Orange County?
I will expand the question to we need at least 7 points over the next 4 games. I think 7 points probably is that magical number. Given that I know Phoenix
your dog is agreeing with me when I'm saying it needs to be higher.
No, she's not. Phoenix's schedule is just as tough as ours moving forward, minus the fact we have to play against bottom feeders El Paso. That one's a must win. El Paso is a must win. I know it's on the road. I know it's going to be, I think, are we playing them on a short week as well, or we get a whole another weekend?
It's a whole week. It's a Wednesday this week.
Okay.
Wednesday next week against them.
Okay. So then ignore my short week comment because it is not a short week. But I do think 7's the magic number for the end of the year. 2 wins and a draw. I don't think the New Mexico game is necessarily a must win. A point would be beneficial. And I only say that because Phoenix has Louisville City, even though Louisville's already clinched the supporter shield and can probably play the kids the rest of the way happily. I imagine Louisville City's second team is just as good as a lot of other teams' first team, and those are going to be kids looking to play for Europe.
Yeah. I don't agree. I disagree with you slightly. I think.
So then what's the magic number?
I think 8 points is the magic number. So really, ultimately, what I'm saying is we cannot lose any of the remaining matches. We need to get at least 2 3-point results and 2 1-point results to guarantee. Now, obviously things can change, but I just think that's where we need to be with how tight things are. And again, I'm of the mindset of just take care of your business, just win your matches. Don't even worry about what the other teams are going to need to do. So as far as magic numbers would go on there, I'd say we need 12 points. But obviously more realistic, I think 8 points is something that this team needs to feel comfortable in getting a playoff spot. We got an El Paso team that, yes, they suck, right? They're bottom table, but what happened last time they played us? Larry, do you recall? Do you recall?
Yeah. Eric Cavillo on a penalty kick.
So, I mean, it's not a shoe-in. That match is not a shoe-in. So
there's no such thing as a shoe-in in this league. There is no game that is a shoe-in. I don't care if Miami is playing Louisville. Okay. In this league, in USL Championship, anything can happen at any time. Now, are the odds probably very, very slim that Miami is going to take something off of Louisville? Yes, it is very, very slim. However, anything can happen. And El Paso, while struggling mightily, came into our house and beat us. We cannot have that same letdown going into El Paso next week. The team cannot have that happen.
You would hope that's a match that has been circled on the calendar as like sort of a revenge match. We let this lower of the table team come in and beat us at home. We need to go get revenge on the road. So we'll see what happens. That's 2 weeks or a week and a half from now, right? We have this match against Colorado. It's a must win. It's a 3 points must in this match. Brad, who do you want to see some greatness out of in this match for Orange County to ensure we get this victory? Who's the key player that you're looking at to help us get that victory?
I mean, Zuby needs to come back. Among needs to come back, and Zuby needs to find the goal again. We can't be expecting wonder goals every week to give us these results or any goals. And there really needs to be, as my dog barks at me, there needs to be someone distributing. I was surprised to see Dogman back and left back this last game.
I love it. Brad's like going like trying to figure out your dog just wants to get involved in this conversation, Brad. I'm gonna say this. Even though Zubak didn't score this past weekend, he was the assist man for Chris Hegardt's goal. So, I mean, he was still part of that attack, and he's a reason we got a goal. A great cutback pass from him, by the way, to the PK spot for Chris to get that nice shot on goal, a one-time shot. Larry, who are you looking at to be the key, star, the key player performer for Orange County to get us those 3 points?
Well, I don't know if he's in the room yet or not, but Chris Hegardt has been huge for this team ever since he came onto the scene. He's come in here as a loanee, and he came in here and stepped into some massive shoes, those of Brian Olowski's, and I've talked about it, on a bunch of occasions since Chris has been here. Chris needs to keep doing what he's been doing, which is, I'm not even going to call him a fill-in for Olowski at this point because he's been that outstanding for this team. We need Kyle to be back. I don't know if Kyle's going to be ready or not for this week. I'm crossing my fingers that he will be ready for the following week at minimum for El Paso. Dogman, I would like to see him out on that wing some more, out there on the left side. He's been fantastic out there. And let's see Ethan bag one or two more. That would be tremendous to see him get into double digits on the in the score sheet for the season.
I love it. I asked Larry to give me 1 or 2 stars for this team that he wants to see that they'll give us a good result, and he lists the whole roster. That's what
I did not list the whole roster.
I got one more thing. Before we have our guests come back in, there's one good thing about the rest of the season. There is
your dog will be barking.
There are 3 home games and 1 away game, and the team plays a little bit better at Champ than they do on the road. Maybe not in seasons past, but this year they've looked a little better at home with the team supporting.
That analysis from Brad is why people listen to the show, because who knew that teams play better at home than they do on the road. Thank you for that analysis, Brad. I love hearing that. Hey, here's my key for this team. I know I gave Larry a little bit of a hard time for this. I'm going to name multiple players, but I'm naming a group. Our defense. We need our defense to be stout, solid this weekend, in 2 days to help us secure 3 points against Colorado. Score prediction for this match, Brad.
1 bark to how many, Wendy? Looks like 1-0. Orange County. 1-0,
courtesy of Wendy the dog. Larry, your prediction.
Hold on, let me ask the Cats. Yeah, they got nothing. I got 2-1 OC.
2-1. I'm going to go 3-0 Orange County for this match. I'm just feeling like Orange County is going to open up some the goals, and with 4 key players from Colorado Springs on international duty, I think this is a moment that Orange County can take this. Quick, Brad, how are the score predictions going this season?
Oh, great news for anyone not named Taylor. Taylor has slipped from the number 1 spot.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and not only that, she is only tied for second at this point. And I believe it is Kayvon who took the number 1 spot. I know our producer, Andy, said he has the prediction slides. We'll look at those later.
We definitely will. We've got to move on because we've got a guest patiently waiting to jump on the show for the first time ever. And I want to welcome him. That is midfielder who's been amazing since joining the team on loan, Mr. Chris Hegardt. Chris, welcome to the show.
Hi, guys. How are you? Thanks for having me on. You guys can hear me, right? Good?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
All right,
I'm going to jump off to a sort of strange question here, because there was discussions between a lot of us and even some of the fans. We were shocked to hear that you're not quite old. You're actually a pretty young guy. We just feel like we've heard your name for years and years and years. How did you trick us in thinking that you were like 30 already and you're still in your, mid-20s or whatever at this point?
Yeah, no. Yeah, I am. I mean, I consider myself young still, but I'm definitely getting older. But this is only my 3rd professional season. So I would consider myself still a young player, but I'm getting up there in age.
Yeah, it's just weird because everyone just thought this is a seasoned veteran, but you really are still figuring things out yourself. Let me ask you this: how's the time been joining Orange County midseason? Team struggling a little bit. Probably you're coming in as a replacement for Brian Olowski, who went down with an injury for the season, and we were looking for someone to fill that role, which you fit in perfectly in your own style. We're not saying you're mimicking what Brian does out there. How was that transition coming from Europe into Orange County midseason with a team struggling, trying to find your place on this team?
Yeah, no, I really enjoyed it so far. I think the guys have been great, and the coaching staff and the front office has all been very welcoming for me. So basically I've loved it so far, and I've learned a lot here. And when I first came, the results weren't too great, and we were struggling a bit as a team and as a club. But I think in the past maybe 3, 4, or 5 weeks, we've really turned it around, and I think we're playing really good soccer, and the guys are really clicking. So I'm just really, really excited to see where this team can go the last month or two of the season. So I've been really enjoying it.
And part of when you look at sort of the way the season is broken down, Danny Stone takes over 5, 6 matches ago. We lose the first match to Vegas, and I believe the team has been unbeaten since then, if I'm remembering correctly. And anyone could correct me if I'm wrong, even you, Chris. What have you noticed with the changes under Coach Danny Stone, how this team is performing, how the team is gelling? What has he done to help you guys regain confidence and move into this stronger bit of play this part of the season?
Yeah, I think Danny's come on and done a great job so far. I think he brought a great energy with him, and kind of made us believe that we could win games and do it. And I mean, if you look at our roster and look at the team we have a lot of great players, a lot of individuals that can really do their part and are probably top players in this league. And I think when Danny come in, he brought his ideas and his tactics. And, for me, he's a really good motivator. He gets the guys up for it every weekend. And I just really think, he made us believe again that we're a great team and we can compete for the top. So I think just, the energy the last month has been great from the top to the bottom in the club. And, like I said, I'm just excited for Wednesday and, the rest of the season, because I feel like the club is going in a really good way.
All right. Well, welcome to the show again, Chris.
My
first question for you. So you were at Stabæk in Norway prior to coming here, but rumor has it that your relationships with some specific people who are and have been on the team were the reason that you came to Orange County. Tell us about who those people are and how you came down here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's the reason I came, but I'm actually pretty good friends with the Olowski brothers. All three of them, Milan, Eric, and Brian. They're from San Diego, and I am as well. They're a bit older than me, but we grew up playing with each other, and we're family friends. So, when this opportunity came up for me, and I got contacted by Orange County, then I kind of just reached out to Milan and Brian and just asked them how it was, and they just had great things to say. So it was a no-brainer for me. And I'm also really good friends with Alex Villanueva, who was on the team the last 2 years. We grew up together playing for Seattle Sounders, so me and him are great buddies as well. So it was all positive things to say, and for me it's pretty close to home, so it was a no-brainer, and so far it's been a great experience.
Awesome. One other question I like to ask, and I know Ray said you're mid-20s, but correct me if I'm wrong, you're still 22, you're still fairly young. Who do you model your game off of? Any soccer player in the world?
Yeah, that's a good question. For me, growing up, I was a big Ozil fan and Iniesta fan, but in modern day football, my favorite player is probably Martin Odegaard. I'm a big Arsenal supporter. So I try to model my game a bit like his, and I watch him every weekend. So far, that's who kind of I try to model my game after. Martin Odegaard's not too much older than me, but I just love the way he plays, and he's so creative in the pocket. So that's a player that I kind of look up to and look at his behaviors.
All right. Last game they had you playing in left mid, I believe a role that Dogman's also played in recently. Is this your true position, or if not, where do you typically play?
Yeah, I can play left mid. I think my best position is probably the 10 through the middle. But I would consider myself pretty versatile, and I think in Vegas, we had a few injuries with guys out, so we needed somebody to play on the wing. So I think I can play winger and the attacking midfield, but attacking midfield is definitely my best position.
All right, and I'll give you one more quick rapid fire question. What would you grade your time here on Orange County? Just A through F.
A through F. Yeah, I mean, I would say A. Obviously, it's been good so far, but I feel like the job's not finished. We need to keep going and finish the season strong and go into playoffs. I think for me, it's I also want to rate my experience off the success we have as a team, because, if we don't make playoffs or we don't go far, I feel like that'll be a disappointment for me and for the team. So, so we'll see how the playoffs go, but based so far, it's an A, and I think we're growing every day.
Chris, if you've watched any of our shows here, you know that I am the least tactical, the least soccer knowledgeable among us. However, I'm going to say this to you in all honesty. If you gave yourself anything other than an A, I was about to tell you, you're wrong. Okay, you're playing at an A level, and please continue to do so. We're loving it. A couple quick ones for you. We have been made to understand. You said you're good friends with the Olaskis, and you and Milan play video games together. If you play FIFA, who are you picking as your team? Who's Milan picking, and who wins?
Me and Milan usually play Call of Duty together, to be honest.
Okay.
But I think if we did play, I don't know. I would choose. Oh, this is what it would be. I would be Arsenal, and Milan would be Manchester United. He's a big Man U fan, I think. So I always give him crap because Man U's not doing too well lately. So it's a good little rivalry.
Ray down there with his Tottenham background is super happy about hearing that.
Well, I'm just super happy because we whooped on Manchester United a couple weeks back, even though we sucked this weekend. But that's a different story.
So you have an amazing backstory. You are, and again, you're a young man. You're 22. But you've got a really, really amazing backstory that I know I'm aware of, and the other guys here on the podcast are also aware of. I think a lot of the fans out there might not be aware of your backstory. So let's go back to when you were, I don't know, what was it, 7, 8 years old, somewhere around there. Talk to us about that time in your life, the things that happened, what you went through, how it affected you mentally, and how you've grown from that and since that time.
Yeah. When I was, like you said, when I was about 7, I actually got hit in the stomach playing soccer. So then basically what happened was that like the ball hit my liver, and then I had tumors on my liver that I didn't know of. And so basically it caused like internal bleeding in my stomach. So, long story short, basically I had liver cancer, and then I ended up getting a liver transplant when I was like 8. So, I'm blessed to be here and blessed to be playing soccer, but it's crazy how everything works out. And, I think it's only made me a better person, a better player, and more motivated to like keep pushing on and keep trying to do big things.
Okay. And there's another pretty cool part to that story too. A particular soccer player.
Yeah. So when I was in the hospital, when you're professional athletes, sometimes you guys do like hospital visits and stuff like that. And when I was actually 7, like Sasha Kleshtin, I don't know if you guys know who he is, but he played for the national team in LA Galaxy. And he came to visit me in the hospital. And then my professional debut, maybe my second professional game, we played against Sasha Kleshtin, and it was kind of like a cool story and a cool connecting moment. And we swapped jerseys, which was pretty cool. And, I was so grateful during that time when he came to visit me in the hospital, and for us to meet, like, I think like a lot of years later was truly amazing. And he actually like went public with it and like tweeted about it, and it went pretty big. So there's a few big stories on it, but it was a pretty cool story. And just, the moral of the story is just to be a good guy and good person.
Absolutely. No question there. And I was actually going to ask you if, did he remember meeting you when you were, just a kid going through this time?
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean,
that's fair.
Yeah. When you meet so many like young kids, or if you go to the hospital a lot for the visits, you run into a lot of people. So I don't know if he remembered me, but it's a good story now, and we stay in touch. So yeah.
Let me,
awesome.
Can I just jump in really quick, Larry? I just want to share a comment on here, sort of part of this, right? One of your current teammates, Chris, by the name of Kyle Scott, one of my players that I coach broke his arm in a game last fall. And when I messaged a few of the players, Kyle Scott was one of the ones I messaged, and he actually responded with a message for that player. And that player is now the biggest Kyle Scott fan because of that moment. So that's just to sort of share like how those moments mean so much to these young players that play this sport, that look up to players such as yourself or Sasha or Kyle Scott.
Exactly. Right. And like, when you're so young and you know, these professionals are able to like relate to you and meet you and check in on you, you remember that forever, you know? So especially for me, like being a professional now, it's like, I know how much it means to the kids. So, you know, any chance I get to do that type of stuff, I always love to do.
Right. Chris, let's talk a little bit about your goal, your first Orange County Soccer Club goal. Congratulations on that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Fantastic finish. That was about as solid as it could get. The funny thing is that I don't know if you've watched the replay or if you've seen the stream of it. It looks like that ball is not moving fast at all from the TV angle that we got. But I'd like to talk about Ethan Zubak and his pass to you. I'm, again, not a soccer player, not a soccer tactician. I only learned last year what a 6 and an 8 was. So that's where I'm at. But he makes this pass to you.
Perfect.
When a player makes a pass like that in soccer, does he know that he's going to have somebody coming into that slot to take a shot on goal? Or is it just let me put the ball there and let's see what happens?
Yeah, I actually talked to Ethan about this after the game, and he just said he saw like a good space and a good channel, and you know, he put it there and was expecting like me or Ashish to get on the end of it. But it turned out to be a very good ball, and luckily, you know, I could have, you know, made my movements two ways. I could have checked back where I went, or I could have like made a movement towards the goal to try to get like to the back post. So I'm just, you know, glad I made the right movement and it fell to my foot. So, you know, credit to Zubak for finding me there. That was a really great pass, and you know, he's been playing so well lately.
Absolutely. That's all I got. I just want to say, hey, listen, we all are really loving having you on the team. I will tell you a little story that after your first game with us, I saw James Keston on the sidelines, and I walked over to James and I looked at James and I said, "Daddy, can we keep him, please?" And then he said, "Yeah, he's a loanee for the rest of the season." And I said, "Okay, good. Glad to hear that." So, hey, keep on doing what you're doing, buddy, man. We appreciate you and we love watching you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys having me on.
Yeah, Chris, I actually have one quick question for you, and to tie into Larry's question about that pass. If the coaches are setting up these positions properly, then players know where someone should make a run in those situations. So, I mean, obviously you made the perfect run there, but that was I always celebrate the assist before the goal. And I loved that that cutback pass from Ethan. It was such a thing of beauty for me. And I'm glad you found your foot onto the back of the net for that one. I'm going to ask a little bit of a selfish question here. I'm going to get a little bit of flack from my fellow podcast hosts because they hate when I bring up my son and my youth team. My son played a number. He's always played number 9. I'm trying to get him to love playing more of that 10 role, which I think that's the perfect role for him. What advice do you have for maybe a player that's struggling because they've always been the goal scorer? They've always played the highest up top. They're being asked to drop back down and maybe be more of a facilitator on the team. What advice do you have for a player like that?
Yeah, I mean, like the qualities you just said are all good qualities. Like a good, you know, goal scorer, a finisher, a 9. I think like, you know, if you bring those qualities and then implement what you need to play attacking midfielder 10, then you know, you just need to be creative, be able to find good spaces, be able to just understand the game. You know, I think when you're playing the 9, you know, you're kind of more worried about less with the ball and more just getting in good spaces to finish. But I think like as a 10, you know, you need to kind of be the connector through the team and be able to do everything. So, I mean, I just said you need to add that creative side and, you know, be always learning the game and watching the 10s, the best 10s in the world. That's what, you know, I try to do is just, you know, watch the players that are playing at the top in my position and try to learn and feed off what they're doing. And ultimately, you know, try to implement that and try to make myself better. So I think just like learning and constantly watching players is the best way to do.
And so you got James Madison on repeat for that, right?
James Madison, no.
Odegaard. All right. So I'll go ahead. I got 3 real quick rapid fire questions. First, we like to ask players for their local shout outs for Orange County eateries, anything to do. What would you say is your favorite Orange County hangout spot?
My favorite Orange County hangout spot. I like Tomikawa, the sushi spot in Irvine. It's like all you can eat. A lot of the guys on the team go there. And then I like going to like Laguna Beach area and Newport, like Crystal Cove. I like Bear Flag, the poke place. And then there's a nice little like steakhouse. I think it's called like A's in Crystal Cove. I like too. So there's some cool places around that area. And I'm from San Diego, so I come back and see my family often as well. So I hang out down here a bit too. But yeah, that area, Orange County, is the best area. I think it's cool, and not as good as San Diego, but it does its job.
All
Chris,
right.
you're about to lose fans, man. You can't say stuff like that. What's wrong with you?
Larry. All right. Second question for you. We like to make fun and hear about, the music taste of everybody. So what is your taste in music? If we were to open up your Spotify, what would be there? And then who has the best and worst music taste in the locker room?
Okay, best music taste. Lately I've been, getting on aux. I enjoy my music. I also really like my roommate Owen Lamb's music. I think Owen, likes to play a good song here and there, and I always let him get on aux when we're driving as well. But yeah, if you open up my Spotify, what am I listening to? I've been, I like hip hop and rap, but I've been getting into more country music a little bit lately. It's never really been on my playlist, but it's slowly making its way. So country music's on the come up in my life.
All right. And
Yeah.
Lastly,
He doesn't want to share with us who has the worst taste in music in the locker room.
I'll give him a pass on that one.
Trying to keep it positive,
Lastly, what's your favorite vegetable and how do you prepare it?
Favorite vegetable. Well, that's a good question. I would go Brussels sprouts. I love Brussels sprouts when you put them in the oven, let them charcoal a little bit, and then on top, I'll do I like some bacon in it with a little balsamic glaze. That'll do the job for me. So little Brussels sprouts with bacon and balsamic glaze.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Last part of this interview, just again, this is stuff to get our fans just to know a little bit more about you outside of soccer. I'm going to ask you some 11 quick this or that questions. The first 10 are about animals. All right. So you just tell me which you prefer.
Animals. Okay.
Animals. All right. So you ready? Dog or cat?
Dog.
Horses or elephants?
Horses.
Birds or fish?
Fish.
Monkeys or dolphins?
Dolphins.
Lions or tigers?
Lions.
Pandas or koalas?
Pandas.
Turtles or snakes?
Turtles. I hate snakes.
Rabbits or squirrels?
Squirrels.
Giraffe or zebra?
Zebra.
And then penguin or polar bear?
Polar bear.
All right. And then last one, better tacos, San Diego or Norway?
Is that a question? Yeah, San Diego.
I got to ask you, were you ever able to find a taco spot out in Norway?
Yeah, surprisingly, people ask me this all the time, but the food in Norway was actually very good. It's very it honestly has the same cuisine as you would find in Orange County. It's a lot of sushi, a lot of Mexican food, a lot of Italian food. You're not walking down Norway and it's oh, let's eat reindeer, and it's not like that.
Or just the fish that have been hanging out for 60 days in the sunlight or any of that stuff.
Yeah,
right?
It's not like that. Norway, I got to give it to you, and I give it to Marcus and Ryan. I say you guys have really good food in your country. So I don't think a lot of people know that. And the salmon is also very good, freshly caught.
Awesome. Chris, we want to thank you for taking some time to speak with us and share a little bit with our listeners. Do you have any last message for the fans that'll be making out this Wednesday or for the remainder of the season as well?
Yeah, no, just thank you guys for supporting us. I hope, we can keep pushing in a positive way. It starts Wednesday, so we need you guys there. But, I feel like the team is, going in a really good way, and we have so many great players and a great staff. So I'm really excited for the rest of the season, and I feel like we're going to do great things. So thank you guys for just always supporting us and always watching us. It means a lot to us. Thank you.
Awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Chris Hegardt, midfielder for your Orange County Soccer Club, goal scorer also now on that list. Thank you so much for joining us, Chris. Best of luck to you this week against who is it against again? Colorado Springs.
Yeah.
This weekend.
Switchbacks. All right,
Awesome.
perfect. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
See you later. Nice to meet you.
Thanks, Chris.
Awesome. Well, that was a fun conversation. And as you've noticed, I've switched it up each episode, the this or that. It's been different themes. And this week we went animals, and that was fun to learn about different animals. And, that brings me to this. Before we get there, is there any other soccer related stuff we want to talk about? Anyone have anything they want to share?
I don't know. My Black Cats are looking awfully good, especially with that howler by the goalie for Leeds over the week or last Friday. Did anybody see that? That was insane.
I like hearing Leeds do bad. Good stuff.
Yeah. No, I'm actually. I don't hate Leeds. Just I just don't want them to win when they're playing my team. Ray, look it up. It's the most craziest thing you've ever seen.
I'll try and check it out. Brad, do you have anything?
If we're talking howlers, I saw twice in the Bundesliga 2 this past weekend, a player picked up the ball with his hands in the box, thinking the play was dead. The first time the goalie kicked it over to him while the ball was live, and he thought it was a goal kick.
Oh.
The second time, there was a non-call tackle at the top. The ball rolls in, everyone stopped, and he just picks up the ball inside the box. Both times are given a penalty. The first time the penalty is saved and then sent back into the box for a goal.
Yep, I saw that first one you were talking about. I've seen the highlights of that one. That was very interesting. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to bring up my kids this weekend. They play 2 matches. I'm only bringing it up because it was a battle of undefeated teams. It was the 2 last undefeated teams in our league on Saturday, and my boys came away with a 3-1 victory on the road. And we had a pretty nice howler from one of our players from the corner of the box, got it up and over the goalie into the upper right corner. So that was a beauty. And then we followed that up with a victory on Sunday to remain the last undefeated team. And that was with missing 2 of my starting 4 defenders. So props to my boys team. Hey, I had to do it because they're doing amazing. And I want them to know that I see their hard work. With that said, what did we learn this episode? Oh, wait. Season score predictions. We now have the graphics for you, Brad. So let's get into this. Let's show the graphics.
Yeah. Okay. So like I said, we have a new first place. That is Michael. Sorry, I said Kayvon earlier. It is actually Michael. Kayvon has moved into second, tied with Taylor. Should I need a tiebreaker, I will figure one out, but I don't think that'll be necessary as of yet.
All right. Can we point out that I have jumped up into third place after being at the bottom for almost the entire season? Has nobody taken notice of this?
Serious.
I don't think you know how to count.
Taylor has 61. Brad has 55. I have 46. That's 1, 2.
What about Andy?
Yep. There it is. 52. Andy, 52.
Producer Andy doesn't get any love.
My glasses don't see that low.
It's okay.
All right, 4th place. I was in last place. Come on. I'm in dead last 10 weeks ago.
Can I request a manual recount on that, Brad? Because I don't believe that's in fact the result. So I need a full-on manual recount, every ballot counted. Let's do this. Let's get into what did we learn in this episode? Again, what did we know? What did we hear? What did we learn? Brad, what did you learn this episode?
Oh, man, what did I learn this episode? I learned that Mr. Hegardt is not a snake fan, so Hegardt will not step on snake.
Step on what?
Snake. No step on snake.
I have no idea what that means. I must be old. Larry, what did you learn?
Learned that you can find a taco in Norway, because I did not know that. I had no idea.
Mr. World Traveler here does not know.
I've been to several Nordic countries. Norway is not one of them. So I learned that, and I learned that Ray does not know what a howler is. We'll talk about it off air.
I know what a howler is.
I don't think you do.
Okay. I guess I don't know what a howler is, folks.
Based upon what you said happened in your kids' game.
Okay, yeah, it wasn't like this bullet of a shot, but it was an amazing shot. I'm going to just say that.
Yeah, that's not a howler. That is not a howler. A howler is a screw up, a mess up.
Is that what a howler is?
Yes.
Oh, dude, I was thinking howler is a great shot. Never mind, man.
So I was right. Ray doesn't know what a howler is.
Then my howler this week was the Sunday game. My kid picked up the ball before it went out over the line, and the other team got a throw in. What did I learn this episode? I learned that I don't know what a howler is, so I'll just go with that. Apparently, I guess Brad really, really wants to do random thoughts. he's touching his Canes hat, so it's probably about hockey. Go for it.
No,
Brad.
it wasn't about that. Big shout out to anybody who came this past weekend. I really enjoyed getting to take a shot of Malort with James Keston and Chad from the front office and many others who showed up, and sharing that experience of my soccer time with them, and really, showcasing the CLC and getting to see all the guys. And then afterwards, doing some gambling, something I don't do much, even though I live in the city of it, with some of the guys who came out, and somehow they won $300-400 on craps, and I free rolled and won $150 myself on craps and blackjack with them. I don't know how that happened, but it happened.
The luck of the orange. The luck of the orange. Larry, do you have a random thought you want to throw in here since we're doing that apparently?
Random thought. I got to step on the field at Angel Stadium and umpire a baseball game, and the field is exactly like any other field. It's exactly the same as any other high school or college field out there. The only difference is you've got 45,000 seats surrounding you, and it really, really, when there's not a lot of people in there, stuff echoes like you wouldn't believe. It was really kind of cool. So that's my.
And I can vouch for you that on that, Larry, because I've worked a couple commencements for UCI at Angel Stadium. Standing on the field level and just seeing the seats around you, it's an amazing sort of feeling. And when there's not people there, you hear a lot of echoing and a lot of crazy stuff like that. My random thought for this episode, I'm just give props to this time to my younger brother who plays D2 college baseball out in Nebraska. He had a scrimmage over the weekend, and he hit a grand slam into the parking lot during that scrimmage. So props to him. He doesn't hit many home runs, and to be able to turn a home run into a grand slam is an amazing accomplishment. So that was pretty cool to see. I got a video clip of it and everything. With that said, we're going to wrap up this episode, and we're going to do so in time. So I want to first thank everyone involved in this episode, my fellow co-hosts, Larry, Brad, our guest, Chris Hegardt from Orange County Soccer Club, producer Andy, plus all of y'all that contributed and participated in the comments, sharing your thoughts, ideas, and hopefully agreeing with everything I said and disagreeing with Larry and Brad. We appreciate that. With that said, this is the Orange and Black Soccer Cast, and we are out.